Interviewing Taylor Witten, executive at Patagonia.
Hello.
Hi Taylor, how are you today?
Doing well. How about yourself, Carly?
Good. I'm just going to ask you a few questions and the interview will be quick.
Awesome.
So what makes Patagonia unique and how would you say you position yourself from the competitors?
Yeah, so, one thing that's really great about Patagonia is that it was created by outdoor enthusiasts. And with that, I think it really does set itself apart from a lot of the other outdoor gear brands, just because number one, they have a lot of sustainable efforts. So they're really about being eco-friendly and trying to be green for the environment. And they also have just higher quality materials. So typically a lot of their stuff, they have way less people returning the items. They have just higher quality materials made out of different things. So just kind of overall just tries to be a higher quality brand.
Awesome. And how would you describe the personality of the company?
Yeah, so the personality, I think it's just a fun and free company, to be totally honest. It's just a really great company to work for. I love being with it. And one thing that's amazing about it is, as I touched on before, is all of those sustainable efforts. So they really care about what the consumer's thoughts are. They really try very hard to have to contribute to society and to contribute to so many different aspects of the environment and things that we're trying to do for good green efforts.
Great.
Yeah.
What would you say is the brand vision of Patagonia right now?
Yeah, so I think as of the moment, our vision is just to be completely green at one point. Materialism is such a huge issue in the United States. So many billions of materials are thrown away every single year, and so there's so much waste. And so really we want to stop that footprint. Our huge goal is for us to really cut back on consumers buying new goods and us repurposing old materials for new items and for new things. So that way, there's so much less going into landfills, and then also people can kind of create this community around being sustainable and around great clothes.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Definitely.
Love Patagonia for that.
Yes. Such a great brand. Can even see the jacket.
Yes. Okay, what archetype would you consider your brand?
Yes, so I think that it is a combination between two different archetypes. So there is the sage, which with the sage, that's going to be an archetype that is, the brand is very knowledgeable and very trustworthy. So people really trust Patagonia and they trust what we have to say. So, whenever there's big events happening or, different things happening in our national parks, they look to Patagonia for some of the information just because we're so heavily dived in there. And I do also think that we are also the outlaw as well, just because we are kind of breaking barriers and, setting a new line in the map and just kind of moving forward on a different path that no other company's really gone on before.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Could you explain for me Patagonia's brand endorsement strategy?
Yeah, so one thing that's really great about our brand endorsement strategy is we use all of our clothes and and all of our equipment, and we put our logo on it. So that way all of our consumers know, like, hey, this is a Patagonia brand. It's really easy for them to be able to spot that out. We do also partner with different companies such as Osprey, where, although it might be technically their brand of backpack, we are also going to be listed on there as well as an endorser too. So
great. Always good to have those relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. Has Patagonia considered brand expansion? If so, why do you think that this would be successful?
We definitely have considered brand expansion. With us starting off mostly as a clothing brand, we did kind of expand into the equipment side. So kind of more of, we moved into kayaks, backpacks, different camping gear, that sort of stuff. But we are actually kind of continuing to expand as well. We are thinking about completely moving more towards an actual volunteer project as well. So maybe potentially opening up that Patagonia nonprofit. Definitely still more to come on that, but we're hoping that it will be a pretty easy and fluid transition for us since we already have our foot in the door with all of these initiatives. So by us kind of moving more towards the volunteer, we've already called a lot of our consumers to action. So now it's just a matter of us really driving that in and starting the fundraiser.
Awesome. Just a few more questions here.
Of course.
How well do you feel that the brand is able to relate to consumers, and what characteristics of the brand make it more relatable?
Yeah, so I definitely think that our main goal is to relate to consumers. I mean, especially with our green efforts, we are part of this world. So I think that that is obviously very relatable to every single human kind of going through and trying to save and preserve. But, on top of that too, I think that we do really appeal to a lot of the outdoor enthusiasts, just because we do understand, like I said before, we are created by outdoor enthusiasts. So, we understand the way that the material needs to feel. We understand what it's like when you're hiking the mountain and you're sweaty and your jacket isn't warm enough. We try our best to relate to how consumers feel about the pricing on different stuff. So it's, we definitely try to incorporate the consumer with everything that we do.
To what extent does your company care about how consumers view them?
Yeah, so I would say to the full extent. We definitely love what, we hold a lot of weight, I should say. There's a lot of weight held with the way that consumers view us, especially our strides with social media as well. We definitely get very interactive with a lot of our consumers, try to reach out to them, see what they think about not only our clothes, but the different initiatives. Sometimes we even ask them, what would you like to see us donate money to? What would you like to see us start working on? And they really have a lot of feedback for us as well. And, they're really the drivers of this. Patagonia wouldn't be possible without our consumers.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, last question for you. What do you think about the social responsibility of the company?
Yeah, so I think that every company does have a responsibility, and I think our largest one is something that we have been implementing, and just really being accountable for our carbon footprint that we make. As a clothes manufacturer, it's really important to understand that consumers can be a little bit trendy sometimes, and sometimes they might not always like to have last season's jacket, or they might not always like to have a jacket from a couple years ago. But we try to stay ahead of the curve as much as possible by offering incentives like the buyback program and all sorts of different things where we just try to be accountable for what we can and try to just at least be open-minded and keep our eyes open to the fact that like every company, we do have something, and there is the accountability aspect of it all. Gave you the finger gun.
Awesome. This interview has been very informative, and Patagonia is very lucky to have you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I think we'll leave it at that.
Thanks, Carly. Bye.
Bye.